Could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Sunday Night Football Overtime. Sunday. You are now officially in the lab room with your man, Louie T. I don't know why the NFL thought that this was a good idea. This was a waste of a perfectly good AFC matchup, okay? This was a throwaway game. This was a death trap for anybody who signed up for it. Why not throw the Jets in here? Why not throw the Dolphins in here? Why not throw the Browns in here? Let me not disrespect the Browns after what happened today. The Browns are probably still going to be a solid team this year. But why not throw some trash in here, man? Hell, you could have even thrown my Redskins in here if you would have liked. This was a death trap, all right? Well, we're actually a home game against the Patriots. So they could have done something else here, though. Like, don't waste a good game here. Whoever was going to play the Patriots in this game was going to lose. So it was no reason to put a good opponent here. So this was really disappointing. I talked about my disdain for the Steelers being in this particular matchup. We saw this same movie, 5 years ago maybe? When the Steelers came to Foxborough the night the Patriots received their rings and dropped another banner. And I'm like, I don't want to see that again. It was a ho-hum game. Patriots beat them up pretty good. It was never competitive. And we were like, that's not what Steelers-Patriots is supposed to be. That's not the essence of Steelers-Patriots. My Steelers-Patriots should be week 13 to week 16, somewhere in that general vicinity, with AFC playoff implications on the line, most notably number 1 overall seed in the conference. That's how I like Patriots-Steelers to be. Not week 1, out of the gate, Patriots at home, crowd is amped, and you already know what the outcome is before the game starts. This was trash to begin with. It's trash now, and that's why I'm starting the stream now, because this is a pure, unadulterated ass whooping that we all saw coming. Just like Antonio Brown ended up in New England. Who didn't see that coming? All right, so I asked the NFL to spare me. They failed me here. All right, the Thursday night game with the Bears and the Packers was trash. This game here tonight, Patriots and Steelers, trash. And I think the two games tomorrow night are going to be absolutely awful as well. All right, I don't see the Texans being able to keep pace with the Saints. I think the Saints are going to run those boys. And in the nightcap, who really gives a shit about Raiders and Broncos? Even though I'm a Joe Flacco guy, I'm looking forward to seeing the Denver Broncos play. Most of you are turning the TV off after the first game goes awry and you're going to sleep. You're going to wake up and you're going to watch highlights of what happened in the Oakland-Denver game. So it is what it is at the end of the day. This was a failed opportunity by the NFL to really showcase some trash so that they could save Steelers-Patriots for us later in the season when it actually counts. Unfortunately, they thought it was a good idea to unveil that week 1. I could have told them it was a bad idea, and so this is what we got. Patriots dominated this football game. Good to see Flash going on. Good to see him back. Dorsett having a monster night. Just caught another touchdown pass right before I started this stream to make it 27-3. And honestly, Tomlin is killing me tonight because they punted on a 4th and 1, which I'm like, bruh, it's New England, and they're scoring touchdowns. And you punting on 4th and 1? They're not punting on 4th and 1. They went for it on a 4th and 1 earlier in the game. But that's nor here nor there. You get down into the red zone, and you're just short of the first down again, and I'm like, bruh, this is 4-down territory. Who gives a shit if you get shut out tonight? What you're not going to do is win the game kicking a field goal here, down 20-3, and he decides to kick a field goal and make it 20-3. Like, what do you think that's going to accomplish? And then 5 plays later, Dorsett is in the end zone, and it's 27-3. I'm like, duh, you thought it was okay to kick a damn field goal. So, in any event, bottom line is, that game's getting out of control. The Patriots are picking up right up where they left off, which is what we fully expect from them. And I'm looking forward to more dominance from them this season. Then they're going to be a really good team. We know they're going to get AB here shortly. I think he'll be ready to rock and roll next week versus Miami. That offense is going to be ridiculous once they get Antonio Brown in the mix to go along with Gordon and Edelman and Rex Burkhead and James White out of the backfield. And Not to mention, they're going to get Benjamin Watson back from a 4-game suspension in week 5. They're going to get Lance Kendricks back from a suspension next week. So the tight end position is going to get even better. That team, I told you, Brady hasn't had this much talent on his football team, not to mention Sony Michel at running back, not to mention the Harris kid out of Alabama, out of the running back position as well. And he's not even active tonight, is Damian Harris. And I don't know if that's a healthy scratch or what, but they got so much talent, it's ridiculous. All right, Brady hasn't had this much talent. I've talked about this on the podcast. Hasn't had this much talent in his career in New England since 2007 when they went undefeated and lost in the Super Bowl to the Giants the first time around. He hasn't had this much talent since 2007 when they lit the league up, and they could light him up again this year. It would not shock me if Brady threw for damn near 5,000 this year and the Patriots are scoring up over 30 points a game. They're going to be that explosive offensively with all the weaponry that they have. They're going to be a fun team to watch. And tonight's the beginning of their march probably to another AFC Championship game. What would that make it? 9 in a row? 10 in a row? Where are we at now with that? Somebody put that in the comment section. I think we're at 9 now when they make it this year. And someone, I saw this on Twitter. Someone said the only person that can save us now is Patrick Mahomes, and I think they might be right. That's the only person that could probably save us from the Patriots playing in yet another Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes outdueling Tom Brady and the Chiefs. And even they have some issues with injuries. Tyreek Hill went down today, and that defense still looks trash. So I don't know if they're the team that can stop the New England Patriots, but we'll see. Those two teams play each other later on in the season. We'll see how that goes, but in any event, let's you know what I want to do tonight? I don't even want to really talk about this game, to be honest with you. Hopefully there are a number of viewers out there from different teams and you got to watch your games. I haven't watched the games yet. Obviously, I won't get to do that until tomorrow. So what I'm looking forward to, and I'm going to go in the comment section real quick, and I'm going to pull up the comment section. And if you are out there, your team played, you watch your team's game, obviously, you want to chime in on your team's performance today, give me a little insight as to what I should expect when I go to watch your team's game tomorrow, hit me up. I'm going to open up the phone lines, and I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to call in. And you can talk about any game you want, man. Because this Sunday night game has been so ass, and it's so one-sided and lopsided and being dominated by the Patriots, we don't even have to talk about this game tonight. Normally, I want to keep the discussion to the game at hand. That's not the case tonight. The Patriots are giving out work tonight to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so we can focus elsewhere, man. So if you're out there, your team has played, you want to talk about your game that took place today, and you got something to say about that, I'd love to hear it. Chime in, call in, and let's get the party started that way. And we'll do this for about a good hour, hour and a half maybe, and then we'll get the hell out of Dodge. So I'll read some comments. Phone lines are open. I got to do one thing. I'll be right back, and then we get started. All right, I'm back. So, without any further ado, let's get to some comments. And we start with Ed, who says, this game was over by halftime. Ed, my man, you are correct. Cloud says, I barely even watched this game. They did this way too early. And I already talked about that when we were breaking down the divisions. And I said, I don't like the fact that this game is on week 1. It's never a good look week 1. It's never a good matchup week 1. And again, it's a death trap for whoever plays New England. In New England, on ring night, on banner dropping night. It's just not a good look. So, in any event, got a call, gonna take it. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, what's up, Lou? This is Brown Shoe. How you doing?
What
Can
up,
you hear
B?
me all right?
What's going on, BST2?
Oh, man, that the Seahawks-Bengals game was, dude, I'm so excited for my team, even though that we lost. We played a hell of a game. Like, there's definitely stuff we got to clean up.
Yeah.
But I think as the year goes on, man, we're going to be a force.
You know what? I saw that was I didn't see the game, so I'm anxious to watch because you guys came within a point of winning. I saw John Ross went off though. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, man. That Andy Dalton played great. He had over 400 yards. That's a career record for him.
Yep.
The offense looked sharp. The running game didn't look very good, but I mean, it's the Seahawks at Seattle. Like, we gave them a fight. Like, really, we shot ourselves in the foot. We're the reason we lost, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, if we're the reason we lost at Seattle on their home opener, what they haven't lost since 2008, I'm happy with that, especially when our defense looked amazing, when they looked like pure trash last year. Like, I think that you'll enjoy the Bengals-Seahawks game when you watch it. I mean, I know that there was definitely some things that frustrated me, what the Bengals did, but this makes me optimistic for the rest of the year, personally.
Do you know the extent of the Mixon injury? Is he going to be all right?
Can you hear me? I'm driving my truck, so my reception might not be that good.
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. I know there's a little bit of noise in the background, but...
Hey, I'll let you go. My reception's probably crap.
Okay.
I'm driving up in North Dakota. You know how it is.
Yeah, man. It's all good, man. I appreciate you chiming in.
I'll be watching your YouTube. All right, see ya.
So, what I wanted to ask him was, I know Mixon got hurt in that game. I don't know the extent of the injury. But what I was most impressed with was John Ross, and seeing his numbers again. I can't wait to see how those numbers were accumulated. But he had 7 catches, over $1 and some change, 2 touchdowns. He might have set his career high. Not only did he set his career high, that might be he might have set a new record for him. Period. Like, he might have eclipsed his total amount of yards in this league altogether in one game. But I think he might have just had a flashback of him at UW. Like, you know, he was out there in Seattle again. It felt like he was back in college. Let's see if he can actually take that kind of energy, all right, and bring it back to Cincinnati, you know, and actually have a game like that at home or somewhere away from Seattle, Washington. Okay, that's what I'm anxious to see. But I was shocked to see 21-20 out there in Seattle. And I'll take it a step further. I know a lot of people that were in survivor pools and things of that nature that were sweating bullets because a lot of people picked Seattle as their survivor pool pick in week 1, and they almost got eliminated right off the bat. And so that was a crazy game. Again, I haven't seen it. Can't wait to watch it though. 21-20. Seattle found a way to win. That's the most important part. But Cincinnati did put up one hell of a fight. See now, we were here. Ree says, Captain Spartan says, I knew we were going to lose this game before it even started. I did too. And I didn't like this spot for you. And I'm pretty sure you didn't like this spot for your Steelers either. So it's not a surprise at all. Ree says, Lou, it makes me sick to say this, but it's true. It's official. I'm done with Jameis Winston. I got a buddy of mine that's a massive Buccaneers fan. He watched the game, tried to give me, assessment of the game, said everything wasn't all Jameis's fault in this game. I know I saw the pick 6 to Dick Sherman. Looked like your receiver slipped on the out route, but that's nor here nor there. I heard he fumbled a couple of other times. I think he said something about a screen that went awry on another pick. Bottom line is, this is what Jameis Winston does. It's in his DNA. He's going to turn the football over. Again, I have to watch the game, so I don't want to sit here and jump to conclusions. I'm just going off of what someone else told me as far as what took place in the game. But bottom line is, this is something you're going to have to deal with. Jameis Winston is a guy that's going to make mistakes. And you brought Bruce Arians here to try and fix Jameis. If he can't, then you got to move on. And so you're going to figure this thing out over the next probably 6 to 8 weeks. And if they don't think Jameis is fixable, then you have to move on. And I think they ultimately will. Vincent Coe says, week 1, always wow. Who would have thought Cleveland would give up 40 plus, LOL. Now, I did see that game. That was on here locally. So I was able to watch that game simultaneously with my Redskins game. And that was exactly what I thought could happen to them throughout the course of the season. I did not anticipate that happening week 1 at home versus Tennessee. Thought they were going to win this game. But I told you, they're a young football team that's going to make a bunch of mistakes. Baker Mayfield is going to make mistakes. and that offensive line isn't going to be able to protect them because they're not stout up front. All of those things came to fruition in week 1. Didn't see that coming right off the bat. But these are the kinds of growing pains you have when you're a young football team. All right? They're going to have to try to gel and mesh together, which no one really talks about in this league. You just think that it's a video game and you just put these good football players all on one team and that it's just going to happen for you. That's not how this league works. This league is built off of continuity and guys being able to trust the man next to him and know that he's going to do his job and know what he's going to do before he does it. That's not what happens when you turn over your roster and bring in a bunch of new players, which is what the Browns essentially have done this offseason. However, they are talented and they can figure things out. And I'm not going to write them off after the ass whooping they took today, but Mayfield was under duress. He was sacked a ton of times. He was hit a bunch of other times. He was sacked for a safety. He threw 3 interceptions, 1 going to the crib. He was molested today. The run game was good. It wasn't great. But more importantly, that offensive line was bad like I thought it would be. And surprisingly, I thought that they would be able to generate more defensively in this game, and they didn't. You know, Derrick Henry caught a screen. They caught him in a perfect play call for running that screen that they did. Cleveland came with a blitz off of that exact same side. It was the perfect play call. That screen really hurt them because they had just climbed back into the game, just scored a touchdown, had all the momentum, and that screen took all of the air out of their sails. But at the end of the day, it was a young team. They had over 12 penalties in this game for well over 100 yards. Greg Robinson got kicked out of the game for kicking somebody in the face. It was crazy. They just self-destructed in that game. And Tennessee took it to their ass. So that was an intriguing game, but we know the Titans are capable of doing this. What's going on? You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, Lou? This is JP.
What's up, JP?
What's going on, man? Yeah, listen, first off, man, what a week 1 so far we had today, first and foremost.
Yeah. I mean, week 1 is unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get. That's part of the allure of week 1 is that you think you know, but you really don't have any idea. And really, take it a step further, you still can't take what you see in week 1 and run with it. You know, teams get their asses beaten week 1 badly and then bounce back and end up 12-4. And you be like, you remember that time they got their ass whooped in week 1 and we thought they were going to be trash? So,
I think so.
So you know how that goes. But
yeah.
It's been an eventful week, to say the least, for sure.
Yeah. I do have a couple of things I want to point out, though. I watched a little bit of that Cardinals-Lions game. The Cardinals looked like straight trash in that game early on. Mm-hmm. Just Kyler Murray definitely looked like a rookie in that game. Then comes the fourth quarter, and he goes out there and he just balls. And I really thought the Lions were going to blow that game. I have a friend who's a Lions fan. They were just destroying Arizona early, and then Kyler Murray marches his team down the field, sends it to overtime. And where would the Cardinals be without Larry Fitzgerald, man? I mean, he was clutch. He made that big clutch touchdown. And granted, they tied it, but that was a great comeback by Arizona.
Yeah, I got to watch the end of the fourth into overtime. I watched the entire overtime, and like you said, they were getting dominated. Stafford had a big second half, primarily the third quarter. There was a controversial timeout called by the Lions that would have ended the game. They ran a screen on a third down. Their offensive coordinator ended up having them call a timeout, and they ran the screen. It was completed. Everything went. It was a first down. That would have effectively ended the game. The Cardinals had no more timeouts. Instead, they were granted the timeout where the Lions. They then had to run a new play on third down. They didn't complete it. Cardinals got the football, went down the field. Murray took them down the field, like you said, touchdown pass to Fitzgerald, 2-point conversion to Christian Kirk. Boom, tie game, overtime. He throws a beautiful ball to Larry Fitzgerald, who dives and catches it. I'm thinking they're going to win this thing in overtime on the first possession. They get bogged down right around the 10-yard line after settle for a field goal. Lions get the football. They drive down the field. They get a field goal. Game ends in a tie. So it was a really good football game late, but as you mentioned, they've struggled early on in that game. But they got it together and they started to get a little bit of rhythm, and it'll be interesting to see how they use that momentum that they built towards the end of that game moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what really caught my eye was I think it was a couple games. I'm gonna try. It was a couple games. One was the Falcons Vikings game when Minnesota just blew the doors off the Falcons early on. And then, of course, the Browns getting blown out by the Titans in their building, and the fans, I think the fans booed the team off the field. And how about that game by that Lamar Jackson? I know it's the Dolphins, but, man, Lamar Jackson looks like a baller, man.
Look, you know what? I don't even want to hear from all the people that talk about Lamar. Now, I'm not talking about you because I know you weren't one of those people that didn't think Lamar could get it done. And it's 1 week, and it's the Dolphins, and they're the worst team in the league. And I don't know if you heard this, but you probably have. But there are players that actually have gone to their agent and said they want out of Miami. Like, that's going to be a train wreck.
I heard about that.
Yeah, that's going to be a train wreck in Miami this year. That's going to be a really tough situation and a tough working environment for them because it's only week 1 and you got people already talking about they want out. But I listen to people all offseason talk about Lamar Jackson and how he can't throw from the pocket and how so many people were down on the Ravens. Like I said, everyone wanted to crown the Browns this offseason, and I'm like, no, it's the Ravens, it's the Steelers. All right, it's still their divisions. They're still the bullies of the North, and everyone's going to figure that out. But everyone was discounting the Ravens because Lamar Jackson can't throw from the pocket. I said, okay, we'll find out. And it's just one game. It's a small sample size, but stop acting as if this man didn't win the Heisman because he also threw the football. Like, he didn't just run at Louisville. He actually did throw the football. So, and he threw it down the field. It wasn't a bunch of horizontal passes. All right, he threw the football vertically. So, what I was most surprised by was Hollywood Brown. Hollywood! Having the first half that he had. Like, god damn, that was like out of nowhere.
Yeah, I knew you were high on Hollywood Brown. You said he was the best receiver in the draft. I thought the same exact thing.
Yeah, I was huge on him. I'm still high on him, but he didn't do anything in the preseason because he was banged up. And they were bringing him along slow, so I thought, okay, if we hear something from him, it won't be until week 4 or 5 when he starts to really get his traction and his footing going. But he just came out of the gate doing what dudes that can run really, really fast do, and that's take the top off of a defense. And he did that in a major way in week 1.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was. I have to admit, I didn't really get to watch most of the game. I'm probably when I get home. I'm actually with my girlfriend right now. When I get a chance, I'm going to probably watch the highlights of every game. But one more thing before I let you go, I can't leave without talking about the Redskins, man. I was so pumped for this game. I thought we had a chance to beat the Eagles. We were 20-7, and then our defense just completely blew it. They were gassed.
Yeah.
And the fact that, and what the hell was Jay Gruden thinking benching Adrian Peterson? I don't know if they got in a spat with each other before the game. I don't know what was going on, but come on. I mean, look, the offense looked a lot better than a lot of people thought that would be. I thought that our passing offense was going to be trash, and they came out gangbusters early. I was really impressed. And man, how about Terry McLaurin, man? We were the reason. He was one of the reasons why he was in that game. And then Vernon Davis got the touchdown on the opening drive. The day after his grandfather passed away, after he scored the touchdown, he cried. I mean, that was a great scene. And man, I don't know what happened. Geis was, man, I felt so bad for Geis the way he played. 10 carries on 18 yards. Not a good debut, but you know what? It's week 1. It's early. I have to admit though, when we blew the lead, I was steaming mad. But you know what? It's the first game. It's going to take some time to get this. It's going to take some time to get the seed to these guys to get their legs under them. But I mean, I thought I was pretty proud of the guys for the way they played. It's just the fact that the defense was gassed early. Montez Sweat didn't really look all that good, but he did lock down the edges like he wanted him to.
Yeah, he
and I like what I saw out of Landon Collins as well.
I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of that tomorrow on the RNN, but I can tell you this much. There are a lot of things that we did well that I didn't expect us to do well, and there are a lot of things that I thought we would do well and we didn't. So this game was somewhat of a contradiction for me. I was shocked at some things, and other things I was like, but I thought we would do that better. So there's so much to discuss, so many layers to peel back. We'll talk about the Adrian Peterson thing tomorrow. I like I said, I talked about it on Twitter with a number of different Redskins fans who were up in arms, and Jay's hands were really tied when you look at the way that the roster was set up. That's why they released Robert Davis, because they have so many injuries that they have to kind of play around with the roster to make it work from a special team standpoint. Had he kept Adrian Peterson active, but we end up getting a punt blocked, or we end up giving up a punt return for a touchdown, then everybody would have been pissed off about special teams, and no one would have wanted to hear, well, I would have had to make Adrian Peterson inactive. So it just goes it goes both ways. You just got to look at it from each end of the spectrum. I know Redskins fans really don't want to hear it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. The fact that Adrian Peterson wasn't in the game isn't the reason we lost. The reason we lost is because we couldn't get a stop on 3rd and 10, on 3rd and 15, on 3rd and 10 again. You know, we're giving up deep balls to Deshaun Jackson on 3rd and 15. D-Jax is open for 18 on the sidelines because Monte Nicholson doesn't want to drop back underneath the zone responsibility that he has underneath right on that out route. Instead, he's reacting to a running back out of the flats and coming up on 3rd and 15. Where are you going? Like, it's just stupid stuff like that cost you. And we just weren't good defensively. Period. Second half, we weren't good enough defensively. So we'll talk about it tomorrow, though.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Our third down defense was just as bad last year, and it's just as bad again. We got to get better on third down defense. I mean, Zach Brown was like one of the best third down defenders we had on the team, and we let him go all because he had issues with the coaching staff. I mean, we got to get better on third downs, bottom line. Our tackling was atrocious. But anyway, I'm not going to talk you to death. But one more thing before I let you go. You cannot be surprised. You cannot feel happy for your boy Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, the way they went in, the way they handled Atlanta, they handled their business against the Falcons at home. I mean, that was, and how about Dalvin Cook, man? I'm so pumped up for him this year. I mean, you can't not be proud of what the Vikings did today.
I got to see it. I know at one point he only had like 80-something yards passing, so I definitely want to see what the hell went on, but. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely take a look at it with the rest of the game. So, hey, JP, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you.
Yep.
Help the Redskins.
All right, so JP talked about the Falcons game. That was another game that I wasn't shocked by that. My sister was pissed, and I'm like, you were supposed to take an L with me today. That was expected. That was a scheduled L. All right, you know, there's some games on the list of games that are scheduled L's. When you look at it, okay, yeah, we were supposed to lose that game. If you're a Falcons fan, today was a scheduled L. You weren't going into Minnesota and winning, okay? I told you weren't going into Minnesota and winning. So this was a scheduled L. You take these on the chin and you keep it moving. These aren't ones that should be heartbreaking or you should feel anything. This was a scheduled L, all right? We had one on the schedule today as well. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with JCamman99.
What's up, JCam, man?
Hey, I'm surprised you're on so early. The Steelers could totally score 28 points here. Come on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's the score right now? Because I'm not watching the game.
30-3. I'm kidding.
Right. That's exactly why I'm on early. Right there. So.
See, but this is my overall theme of the reason I'm calling. Like, isn't it a bad thing that, like, you're on early? Isn't it a bad thing that I've been watching Stranger Things reruns most of the game? Like, this is what the Patriots is doing to the NFL this year. I mean, Antonio Brown's not even in yet.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to watch him.
Well, see, it's not what the Patriots are doing as much as it is. I'm disappointed. Like, had this been Patriots, Dolphins, I wouldn't have been upset about this. I would have been like, cool, they got this shit out of the way. I didn't want to see it anyway. Get it out of the way now. Because nobody was going into New England on banner dropping night, on ring night and winning, period. So it was a death trap from the jump. So again, don't waste Steelers-Patriots week 1 when the Steelers have absolutely zero chance of winning. Don't waste it. They wasted it.
Now, I know this is a fluke, but a couple of years ago, the Chiefs beat the Patriots on ring night. I think that was 2 years ago.
That was definitely a fluke, all right?
Right.
And while it did happen, and you're absolutely right, that is so rare. I mean, I think since they started doing the, Super Bowl team playing in that first game on that Thursday night, which, they only changed it up this year because of the 100-year anniversary. But since they've gone to that format, I think only 2 times the Super Bowl champs have lost. The Cowboys beat the Giants, I think, after the 08 year or 07 year. I think they beat them on that Thursday night the next year. It might have been after the 11 year, whatever. But they beat them one night, that Thursday night, one of those years after they won the Super Bowl. And then the one you just referenced, Chiefs beating the Patriots when Alex Smith was unconscious and Eric Berry had the game of his life. And they went into Foxborough and beat the Patriots. I think they scored 41 points that night, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, that's a big win for your Bills, man. I didn't see it coming. When you were down 16-0, I thought you guys were dead.
Yeah, you and I had, the opposite day because I was obviously looking at other scores, and I saw the Redskins destroying the Eagles, essentially, score-wise. I wasn't watching the game, obviously. And I was just and I thought about you, man. I was his video is going to pop up at 4:30, and he's going to be so happy. Good for Lou. And then our fortunes completely flip-flop.
Let me ask you this. I'm glad you brought it up. So, when you were down 16-0, did you ever once have even a fleeting thought that you were going to win the game?
Yes, but only because of the score. Only because I was like, okay, that's 2 or 3 scores away.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the fact that we were stopping the Jets over and over and over again. They had the ball so many times, and then it's, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. The defense was so consistent that I was like, if we could actually get a score or two, we're right back into it, and then we're running out of time, but we'll have a chance at the end of the fourth. I know this is a really weird comparison, but the 4th preseason Bills game, the Bills were down 23-6 in the 4th quarter, and they won that game. And I realize that that's crazy to even compare it to a preseason game. But that just happened so recently. I'm like, okay, and that was even a bigger deficit that I was like, you know what? Maybe they'll do it again. And so I wasn't super shocked, but,
See, that's the difference between you and me. Because when you were down 16, you still had a realistic thought in your mind that we can win this game. We were up 17-0, and even in the halftime at 20-7, I'm like, there's no way we're winning this game. So we were in 2 totally different mindsets because never once did I feel confident we were going to win. I was in a state of disbelief when we started out 17-0. Shocked, utterly shocked at what I was watching. Like, this cannot hold up. And of course it didn't.
I mean, I've been in that. I think if it was the other way around, let's say, for example, the Bills were playing the Patriots today and we were up 17-0.
Right.
At the half.
Yeah.
There's no. I would feel exactly what you feel.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, I'm waiting for the clock to hit 0. I wouldn't enjoy one moment of the lead until the game ended. That's where my mindset would have been. I think
you know what? I think that's a very, very good point you bring up because had this been the Giants we were playing, I probably would have thought we were going to win. But because it's the team that I perceive to be the best in the division, there was no way we were going to be able to hold them off, in my mind. They were the better team. And that's how you guys look at the Patriots because they are the best team in your division. So you would think that, okay, at some point they're coming to get us. All right? They're coming to get us. They're going to hawk us down, and they're going to catch us, and they're going to pass us. And so that's the way I felt, and it came to fruition. So, yeah, you're probably right. If this were, because it was the Jets, you were like, man, we can beat the Jets. We're hanging in there. We're playing defense. If we could just get one score and get some momentum, we can come back and beat them. If that were the Patriots, you'd be like, nah, man, we're probably going to lose this game.
Yeah, I want to be clear. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't at the half when it was what was it, 16-0 or whatever at the half. I wasn't like, we got this.
No.
I was calling up my relatives and being like, what the hell? Everybody was in what the hell mode. mean, I know some people actually were turning off the game, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna sit through it, blah blah blah. So I mean, I was definitely on that mindset, but so I wanted to get back to the Patriots for a second.
Yep. Did
you see the Sunday Night Football pregame show at all? Did you have a chance to watch that?
Nope, I didn't.
Okay, so all the Patriots fans chanting A-B, A-B, A-B before the game starts.
Mm-hmm.
When Antonio Brown hasn't even played a down for the Patriots.
Right.
And he has nothing to do with the last 6 championships.
Right.
And they are all acting like they never won a championship before.
Right.
From my perspective of never winning one, like that burns me up so much that the fans of the Patriots not only have disrespect for their own team, that they're chanting AB, but like they act like they've never had it before. I just don't understand that. I can't comprehend it.
When I call it the Michael Jordan effect. All right, it's the same thing Jordan used to do when he was in the midst of winning, back to back championships in the NBA. You have to give yourself a reason to get up to play teams and to give you more motivation, because there really is none left. You're playing against yourself after a certain amount of time when you win all the time. And so now the Patriots fans, they're the villains of the NFL. All right? The Patriots are the villains of the NFL, whether they like it or they don't like it. And they don't care. And that's the way it should be. And so they don't have anything else other than the fact that, they want to win, but they need another angle. AB's their new angle. That makes them even more villainous now, because you're stockpiling talent on top of talent now. Now it's gross what you have at your disposal.
Right.
I've talked about Brady having the most talent he's had since 2007 when they went undefeated. That's the kind of talent they're going to have this year if everybody stays healthy and AB's. And you got to assume he's going to be on the straight and narrow, or they're going to get rid of him. They don't need him. They just want him. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, they have Josh Gordon. N'Keal Harry isn't even on the roster right now. He's healing up from an injury. He'll be back like week 8.
I actually forgot about him.
It's like ridiculous.
Right.
It's like dudes on top of dudes on top of dudes, man. It's ridiculous.
Right.
They got the Alabama kid, the running back, Damian Harris. I don't know if he was a healthy scratch tonight or if he was injured, but who gives a shit? They still got Rex Burkhead. They got
James
White. You got James White. I mean, they got Sony Michel. I mean, it's dudes on top of dudes on top of dudes. It's ridiculous. I mean, and not to mention, Benjamin Watson will be coming off a suspension after week 4. You got the Lance Kendricks coming off a suspension next week. So the tight end position is going to get better.
And not to mention the rumors that Gronk's going to make a return.
Look.
People won't shut up about that.
Right. Yeah. If they need him, he'll come back. I don't think he's going to come back now because they don't need him.
I hope not.
I thought, I said on my podcast, he'll be back. Because he misses it. He was, he retired because he wasn't healthy. He didn't feel good. He feels good. He misses it. But they're not going to need him come week 12, which is when I thought he would start, the rumors would start coming and he would start thinking about coming back. I don't really see him coming back. There's no need for him to come back. They're going to be loaded. Now, if they're struggling or they got injuries, Tom may pick up the phone, call him, and he may come back. But if that happens, it's ridiculous. It's just utterly ridiculous.
Sorry, no, I'm watching the game and like somebody was holding up an AB sign like as I'm watching it. Anyway, what was I going to say to you? I'm just at a point now, man, where I just want them to lose one game. I don't care which game it is.
They're not going to go undefeated.
The one thing the Patriots haven't done yet is they haven't had a perfect season.
Yeah.
It's the only thing they haven't done, and I'm just like, okay, let's not give them that, Like, let's at least keep that from them. I'm failing to figure out which game they're going to lose now, especially after tonight. I mean, Pittsburgh is a good football team.
Yeah, they're not going to go undefeated. It wouldn't shock me if somebody in the division got them this year. I mean, it used to always you could count on Miami getting them. Miami's not getting them this year.
Oh yeah, Miami, dude. One of my best friends is a Dolphins fan, and it was really funny today. I texted him He wasn't watching the game. He was out with his kid, and I texted him that the score was 38-0. I just made it up. It was when it was 21-0, so
Right.
I totally made it up. But then within 20 minutes of that text, it was 35-3, and I was like, "Hey, remember that joke text I just sent you?" And then I just kept sending him updates all day.
It got ugly quick, man. That one, yikes.
Yeah, so I mean, I know that, and you and I have talked about this. Not only the Patriots having a hard time in Miami, but also the Patriots not necessarily awesome record week 2, and both things are happening next week. But there is no chance in hell that the Patriots lose to the Dolphins next week. There's no way.
Zero.
No way.
Zero. So, yeah, we'll see, man. Hey, J-Cam, man, appreciate you chiming in, though, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep. Ay. The Patriots aren't going undefeated, just so you guys know. They're not going to go undefeated. Someone's going to beat them. They're going to lose a couple of games this year, but I can tell you this much. They're going to be really good, are the Patriots. That is for damn sure. They are going to be really, really, really good this year. Unfortunately, it's going to be tough for them to be beaten. They just got so much talent. It's the only thing that could derail them are injuries or from within, I guess. Self-inflicted wounds from within. But again, I don't see them allowing that to take place. So, you're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Yo, this is Ricky L.
What's up, Rick?
What's going on, bruh?
Nothing much, man. Just chopping it up, talking football, bruh. Like always.
So I guess Nick Foles broke his clavicle.
Yep, that's he broke his clavicle, which is his collarbone. So yeah, that's what they're saying. It's unfortunate too, because one, I had them winning the game today, and they actually would have had a legitimate shot had he not gotten hurt. Two, I had Jacksonville winning that division after Andrew Luck decided to retire. That's probably not going to happen now. And three, there was a lot of people talking about how, it was only in Philadelphia. Well, this was his chance to prove it wasn't just in Philadelphia. And I was really looking forward to seeing him have an opportunity to do that. And now that's on hold as well. So that it's really frustrating because I was rooting for him. I really was. And I thought it was he was in the perfect spot, on the perfect team. Everything seemed to be coming together at the right time in Jacksonville, and that happened. So that sucks. It really does.
It's a shame, yep. And the Dolphins have secured the number 1 pick, obviously.
You talking about in the draft?
Yeah, in next year's draft, they secured the number 1 pick.
It seems that way, but it's week 1. I'm not going to crown them yet, but I don't think there will be a more dire situation this season than in Miami. I mean, like I said, the reports are that there are players, multiple players, not just one or two. It sounds like a slew of players that want out of Miami. And you could kind of see this coming. There's been a lot of friction in Miami this entire offseason. I don't know if Brian Flores has done a really good job of coming in there and endearing himself to the players. I think he's actually been pretty abrasive, and he's rubbed a lot of guys the wrong way. Not to mention that I told you, in the NFL, the one thing you can't do is you can't tell players, fans, and the rest of the league that, hey, we're punting on the season. Teams generally don't do that. What you do is you go out, you play hard. You're not going to win because you're not a good enough team, but you don't go out and announce to the rest of the league, your fan base, and the guys in the locker room who have been working hard this entire offseason, that, yeah, we're going to stink and we're going to punt on the season and we're looking forward to next year's draft. That's essentially what they've done by trading away good players and by, putting themselves in the position that they're in. It's apparent to everybody involved, even the players in the locker room. We're not winning this year. Well, I guess what? I don't want to be a part of a rebuild, especially if I'm a 7-8 year vet. I don't want to be a part of that shit. At this point in my career, I want to win. So you're telling me I'm wasting another good year of my prime to sit here and help you lose football games so that you can build for the future when I'm not even going to be here? Nah, I'm good. I'm going to pass on that. So, it's ugly in Miami right now. It's to the point where you might be right. I could easily see them not winning a game this year. That's real talk. But
They'll get one. They'll get one. They'll get one.
That's how I feel. They'll probably get more than one. I mean, first of all, they play in the AFC East. So you have a solid day and you show up against the Bills or the Jets, and you should be able to get a win somewhere in there. At home versus the Jets or the Bills. You know, but their situation is just so bad, and it doesn't help that Fitty Fitty's your quarterback. It doesn't help that Josh Rosen's a deer in headlights right now. It's a bad situation in Miami right now. Period.
Yeah.
Really
So how about that tie? How about that tie that we had this week?
And you know what? The NFL, and I was talking to my girlfriend, we were watching the game, and I told her that the NFL needs to go back to 15-minute overtimes. This is getting old quick. Like, I was really looking forward to not having ties this year, because there's nothing worse than, hey, that team is 1-0-1. That sucks that we got to do that. And so now the rest of the season, we got the dreaded extra added digit to the end of the Lions and that's not going to be the last tie we have this year. You know, you're going to have multiple ties every year with this 10-minute overtime garbage. It's trash. So, but the game itself, I talked about it earlier in this telecast that Kyler Murray showed some moxie and some poise and dug down deep and brought his team back after struggling for much of the afternoon. So that was impressive to see him dig down deep and find a way to bring his team back when it looked lost at one point. So that was impressive. But the bigger takeaway for me is they got to change the overtime rule back, man. Like, this is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So
I was at work. I was checking my phone, and I was like, man, the Lions are just smashing them. And then the next thing I know, it's tied up.
yeah, and the crazy part was they were dominating, and they had this game on ice essentially. And all they had to do was complete a pass on third down. I talked about this already, so I won't really go over it again. But they had it, but they called a timeout, so it negated the first down. They had to do the play over again. They didn't convert. They had to punt the ball to Arizona, and they were able to get the touchdown and 2-point conversion, send it to overtime. So that's a tough way to lose a football game if you're the Detroit Lions, or tie. It felt like, probably if you're a Lions fan, it probably felt like a loss because they should have won the football game.
Yeah, you get like a game where you're just smashing them, and then, nope, tie.
So, yeah, it probably felt like a loss, but, you know, it is what it is, man. Hopefully they can bounce back next week. And I may be wrong about Detroit. You know, they may be better defensively than I give them credit. They may be better offensively, but I still don't think they're good enough, because if you're a good enough team, you find ways to win this football game. Plain and simple. You don't tie this game with Arizona. If you're a good team, you find a way to close this one out, go home feeling good about yourself with this victory instead of a tie. So it is what it is. But, hey, Rick, man, appreciate you. Big win for your Eagles, man. That was an impressive comeback. You guys did what you were supposed to do. It took you a little while, and I think some of that was that preseason rust, but you were able to knock that off,
But
and you started doing your thing.
Our secondary is trash.
It is. You're gonna
it.
struggle if things don't get better, exponentially better in that secondary, or, and this is the thing that could save you, you just got to get pressure on the quarterback. If you can get some pressure on the quarterback, it will alleviate some of the stress of that secondary. But right now, if you're gonna ask those boys to cover down the field, you've got problems on your hands. Because y'all made Case Keenum look really good.
Bruh.
You made Case Keenum look really good in week 1. But it's week 1, so we'll see. But in any event, hey, Rick, man, appreciate you chiming in, bro.
No problem, bro.
Well, I'll get at you later.
All right.
Yep. All right, so let's get to some more comments. See what we got. Ed says there were only 2 or 3 good games today. So let's see. I think our game was good. It didn't end the best, but I thought the Eagles Redskins game was pretty solid. The Lions Cardinals game wasn't good for 3.5 quarters, and then it got good late. So, but it ended in a tie. So I guess you could qualify that as a good game. Seattle game was good. You had there was another close game that I'm thinking of. The Rams game was good. There were a number of good games. I won't say 1, 2, or 3. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Man, it's your boy Tones, man. Pro Sex Sports, man. What's good?
What's going on, Tones?
Good. Not much, man. Damn, that was an ass. Goodness gracious. Lord Jesus.
Yeah, man. I mean, who didn't see that coming, though? Who didn't see that coming?
I ain't feel like this. I mean, I knew they were going to lose, but damn.
I saw it coming a mile away. I bitched and complained about this the entire offseason. Why? Because I saw this coming. I was like, don't do this to the Steelers. They deserve better. Don't put them in this spot. Don't do it. And they did it. So, you know what? It is what it is. I don't like my Steelers Patriots in week 1. Period. You know?
Well, none of them don't like it in week 1. We like it in week 14.
Right. Exactly. With first place in the AFC on the line. Like, come on, man. Don't do this.
Exactly. With a playoff implication on the line or something. Like, not in week 1, bro. This is terrible. This is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
This is an ass of epic proportions.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
There was a few ass whoopings today. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, they were.
I'm not going to get to that Dolphins game. I don't even want to talk about that. That's terrible. That's trash.
I mean, we saw that one coming too, though. I mean, we didn't see 50, what was it, 59, 56? What? I lost count.
59 to 10.
10, yeah. We didn't see that coming. But, you know, I thought it was going to be more along the lines of like 38 to 6 or something like that. You know, 38-13, something like that. I didn't see 59. I didn't see 30. I think they had 38 at halftime, bro. Like, I didn't see that coming.
Hell no. I said, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Like Michael Big Reincarnate out this bitch. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it got ugly fast, man. Yikes.
Yikes.
And then I watched the Browns game. That one got out of control quick too, man. Like, that one was nip and tuck in that late third quarter, early fourth, and then the wheels literally just fell off. Like, I mean, damn. I watched. I was like one of those car crashes that you see and you just like, I can't look away, but it's bad. But I'm just, I can't look away from this. And I'm literally watching Baker get injured. Like, I watched him hurt his hand. I'm watching him throw a pick 6. I'm watching him get sacked for a safety. I'm watching Derrick Henry run for like a 75-yard screen for a touchdown. I'm like, all of this is happening in the span of like 15 minutes real time. And it's like, damn, what just happened? You know what I mean? Like, Kevin Byard with a pick, you know, setting him up for another touchdown. Delaney Walker, touchdown. I'm like, shit. It was just 19.
It
was just 23 to like 15, or 14. It was like a 9-point lead. I think it was 22 to 13. It was just 22 to 13 like 5 minutes ago, bro. Everything was all good just 5 minutes ago. And then it won't.
When the epic meltdown happened, the Tanks massacre happened. That they damn ass whooped.
Yeah, and then you gotta love people talking cold hard cash afterwards. Delaney Walker talking about they are who we thought they were. I said, oh, don't flame them like that. Don't do that, man. Don't flame them like that.
Overhype the team all season.
Hey, I tried to warn everybody. Now it's 1 week. It's 1 week.
Lay a dud.
Yeah, it's 1 week. But I tried to warn everybody, do not drink the Browns brews. Remember, I told everybody that. But hey,
I mean,
you can lead a man. You can lead a man to the bar, but you can't make him drink. I tried to tell everybody, hey, I'm gonna be at the bar, but I'm not drinking. They was like, well, hell, if I'm coming to the bar, I might as well have a couple. I said, oh, hey, shoot
hey,
yourself.
Man, we been about the Skins game, man. That was expected.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked. The first half was shocking, bro. It was shocking.
I was shocked. I was like,
I literally was in a state of disbelief at what I was watching.
McLaurin catching bombs. I said, "Oh my god." We can win this game though, because we can win this game.
Yeah, and as I told you guys on the R3, never once did I think we were gonna win. Never once was I confident. Even up 17-0, even up 20 and that was an impressive drive right before the half to get that field goal and take back some momentum after they had scored the touchdown. That was impressive. And you go in at the half 20-7, and you're like, man, that was impressive. That was an impressive half of football. But I'm like, can you do it for another half? And
hell no.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Nah, cause my cousin, I want to tell you, my cousin Ray was sitting next to me like, they will whoop these Eagles' ass. I said, hey, you better come on. Talk like that now. Talk crazy now.
Hey,
crazy.
He must not be a
Redskins fan. Hear that
fan.
shit. Now I don't have to. All right, you get our ass whooped. Don't come crying to me. I'm telling you now. Don't say nothing. Just watch. That's all. Just watch.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Sure enough, around that end of the fourth quarter, he was like, man, goddamn Redskins. That's a typical Redskins football.
Indeed.
Typical.
I saw your comment, and all I could do was shake my head because it's so true, man. So true.
But I can tell you now, though, the future's bright, man. These young players balled out today, man. I was very impressed.
I agree with that. Like, I don't know how bright the future is. I just know that there are some pieces that we have that look like good foundation building blocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man.
That's something
Terry,
that you can take away
y'all
from this.
got a nickname for me, man. Scary Terry, boy.
Hey, the man is. They call him Scary Terry for a reason, man. He gonna light some teams up this year.
He gonna scout you.
So.
He gonna scout you. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, man. Appreciate you. As always. Hey, keep pumping out that content too, bro.
Well, I got you, man. I'm gonna get back to the ground tomorrow. I'm on leave of work right now, so I'm on paid leave. So I'm going to work for another week. So I'm gonna pump this content out.
Take full advantage.
I'm on leave. So
I saw you.
There's a lot more content coming.
Yeah, I saw you say that on one of your videos last week. So yeah, definitely keep pumping them out. For sure.
I'm about to go crazy while I got the time.
That's the best time.
It might slow back down a little bit, but right now I'm pumping out.
That's what's up. That's word. All right, bro.
All right, bro. Hey, take it easy, Lou. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Keep it inspiration for all small sports channels, man.
Hey, appreciate that, man.
Bro.
Keep
no
grinding.
problem, bro.
All right. So, I'm anxious to watch a couple of games. Like, just to go back to what someone mentioned before, that there were only 2 or 3 good games today. I disagree. I thought the Redskins game was solid. I thought the Rams-Panthers game looked like it's going to be a good game to watch. Same with the Seahawks game. Obviously, the Lions and the Cardinals tied, so that's 4 right there. The Bills and the Jets, 17-16, a 1-point game, and I thought the Jets were going to win that football game. Looked like they had the football late, deep in Bills territory with a chance to win. I don't know how they managed to not come out with at least a game-winning field goal there. So I'm anxious to watch it. That's 5 right there. So I disagree with the sentiment that there weren't good football games that were played today. I just reeled off 5. I feel like I'm missing another. The Chargers game, Colts-Chargers, went to overtime. So that was the other game I was trying to think of, and I couldn't. So that's 6 right there. So it wasn't as bad. You know, I actually thought it was a really, really compelling week of football. As week 1 normally is, because you just don't know what's going to take place. Like last year, we had the Saints losing to the Buccaneers. Buccaneers putting up 48 in New Orleans and winning. You just never know what's going to happen in week 1. And so we didn't have one of those this year where you got a surprise out of left field that you didn't see coming. But we did have some teams scoring some points, and we did have some ass whoopings. And we did have a major injury in Nicholas Foles, which is unfortunate, but nonetheless. Got to call him and go ahead and take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Lou. This is Ree.
What's going on, man?
You're not surprised?
I didn't hear who it was.
Ree.
Ree.
Yeah, Reed.
I'm lost. I'm drawing a blank. Help me.
This is Lou, right?
Yes. This is
You know Reed, the Bucks fan, Reed?
Yes.
Yeah, it's me. What's up?
Oh, that's why, because you don't ever call it. What's going on, man?
We go way back.
I finally get to hear what you sound like, bruh. Like, when you kept saying Reed, and I'm like, it's not registering. What am I missing here? What's up, man?
I normally wouldn't do this. I normally like to revel in my anonymity, but there's a lot of things I want to get off of my chest.
Please do, man. The floor is yours. So before you start, I'll give you a little bit of backdrop. I got one of my best friends is a massive Bucks fan. He sent out, we have a group text or whatnot, and he just sent out a bunch of texts, rapid, back to back to back to back. And it was about the Bucks game, and he talked about, the turnovers, and he talked about, all the mistakes. He saw some good things, but he saw a lot of things he didn't like. He's like, yeah, we got a lot of things to clean up. He shared a little bit of your frustration about Jameis. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
I'm usually the first one to come to his aid and defend him. I've always thought it was kind of my job because he was my quarterback, and I felt like if it was always my job to have his back,
Yeah.
But he's really starting to annoy me. I'm really getting tired of it.
So okay, so all right. So my buddy was telling me that I saw the pick six. So I saw that one with my own two eyes. It looked like the guy slipped on the outbreaking route. Don't not necessarily know if that was all his fault. Was there a screen that got intercepted as well?
Yeah, we had the defense, which the defense played great. Wait till you see the game, Lou, because we were flying around making plays.
Okay.
But anyway, there was a screen pass, and apparently the running back didn't get to his spot, whoever he was throwing it to, whether it was Peyton Barber or Rojo or somebody else. Yeah. There was nobody there, and I understand that the running back missed his assignment, but don't throw it up like it's a rainbow. Throw it into the dirt.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that was a dumb throw right there.
I was like, dude, are you serious? And the defense did everything they could. Devin White forced a fumble. Ndamukong Suh was making plays. Jordan Whitehead everybody was making plays. The defense did their part. And it was weird last year, Lou, because it felt like last year our offense would always do their part and the defense wouldn't. Right. Now the defense is doing their part and the offense won't. Right.
It's a role reversal now. So I heard there were fumbles too.
Yeah, Jameis fumbled twice.
That's what I heard. 2 fumbles.
He got one back and he lost another one.
Yikes. And
O.J. Howard caught a pass to the red zone and he fumbled. And that's O.J. Howard.
Yikes. Yeah, he said you guys threw away opportunities to score. So that sounds like one right there. What about, he told me that one of the backs had a really nice game. Which one is he talking about?
Ronald Jones down the stretch. In the beginning of the game, he wasn't really used, but he got the hot hand and he was getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop. Okay. And we just kept feeding him and kept feeding him and kept feeding him. I was convinced he was going to break one, but he didn't. So
he actually is looking good.
Yeah, he was looking good, man. He had the hot hand. He was running well.
I'm rooting for him because remember I've been down on him. I wasn't a huge Rojo fan, but I wanted him to succeed and do well. So that's good to hear that he actually had an impact on this game.
Vernon Hargraves had a sweet pick six.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did.
How did Jimmy Garoppolo look? Did he look bad?
He looked okay. He kept throwing it to George Kittle over and over, but who could blame him?
Yeah. Did he have a big game? Did George Kittle have a big game?
Yeah, man, that dude's a beast.
So, who do you guys play next on the schedule?
We got Carolina on Thursday.
That's right. Short week. You talked about the little promo that they had for the game.
Yeah.
So, this is my question to you. If not Jameis, then who? Is there anybody on the roster that you can turn to if Jameis continues to turn the football over? Is there a guy that you feel confident that they put in the game, you're going to get results out of him, or is it Jameis or bust this year?
Well, I know obviously, Lou, you're a student of the game. I don't know if you've heard the man's name, but we have a quarterback that's been on our team for a while. I call him Mr. Preseason. Yeah. His name's Ryan Griffin.
Yes.
And he always looks impressive in the preseason. And I know it's against backups, but he always seems to He always plays hard, and he always plays well. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying,
Right.
If I could see it, I could see BA having a similar, because Dirk Cutter grew to despise Jameis Winston. He couldn't stand him towards the end.
Yeah.
And I could see BA having a similar thing. Not that he'll hate Jameis, but he'll just say, dude, you keep turning the ball over, and I came out of retirement to coach you, and I can't win like this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you keep turning it over, you're going to send me back into retirement because I'm a loser.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I always am the first one to come to Jameis's aid. I felt obligated, but I'm really getting tired of him. He's really starting to annoy me.
Were you guys able to get pressure on the quarterback?
Yeah. We got some. I think we had Shaq Barrett had a nice sack. He was in the backfield before the play started. He destroyed Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay. Yeah.
He came in there like a shot, like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, I'm anxious to watch that game because it was pretty low scoring for the first half and even into the third quarter, and then it just seemed like there was an explosion.
The Richard Sherman interception was the turning point of the game.
Yeah, because
I don't know why you have Peyton Barber split out wide, because for one, he's not a pass receiving back, and for two, you can't expect him to run a receiver type route.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, because what was it? Was the score 13-6 before that, and then it was 20 after that? What was it?
Yeah. It was. If you turned on the second half, it was a tale of two halves, because it felt like we were in control of the game for most of the first half. I mean, they scored that early touchdown, but it didn't feel like anything was too bad. I'm like, okay, we got this. We're rolling. We can get things going here, and then it was just like, holy crap. Now we're fumbling and throwing interceptions. There was like 5 touchdowns called back by holding. Cameron Bray had 2 touchdowns called back by holding.
Wow, that hurts, man.
Make America great again.
Yeah, that's rough. That is absolutely rough. You couldn't go without one of your signature puns. You couldn't go without one of them.
Our very first punt of the game got blocked.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that turn into points?
Yeah, they got a field goal.
Okay. Huh.
We lined up with Pini, and I was like, all right, we're going to punt. So I go in the room to get a drink, and I was like, what the hell, man? He blocked it?
Yikes. You know what's crazy is listening to you talk, it sounds like you guys really beat yourself in this game.
Oh, absolutely. Jameis fumbled twice, and he threw 2 pick sixes, and O.J. Howard fumbled.
Wow.
And it was just like we couldn't get out of our own way. The play calling was good. If you watch the game, you'll see some brilliant play calls. Like the first touchdown to Cameron Brate that got called back, that was a perfect. You couldn't call a better play. And we had like a 3rd and 17, and they were playing like, I don't know what it was. It was some kind of prevent type defense, but I don't know exactly what it was. But Jameis threw a little swing pass to Ronald Jones, and he got 18 on 3rd and 17. It was a beautiful play call.
Yeah, I'm anxious to watch that game and see just exactly what happened. And, obviously I got a buddy that's a huge Bucs fan, so I want to watch it so I can be able to talk to him about the game. But, just listening to you talk and listening to him talk.
I was so frustrated. I had to I usually watch the games after. I couldn't watch the next game because football just had me bummed.
Yeah. Well, you didn't miss any damn thing. That's for sure. You didn't miss
What's
anything.
that?
I said you didn't miss anything not watching the next game. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
this was the perfect night to not watch anything. But hey, man, I'm proud of you for finally picking up the damn phone and calling, man. I'm proud of you.
I've looked at the phone a bunch of times wanting to call in, but I have social anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's pretty bad. So I've always tried to revel in my anonymity, but I figure since it's you and I've known you forever, you're like my football big brother.
You always say that, man. I'm so glad to hear from you, man.
I know. I'm shaking right now. I'm so nervous.
Well, we couldn't even tell. If you didn't tell us, we wouldn't have even known, man.
Yeah, I wanted when I did call in, I told myself, I said, when I do call in, it's going to be a surprise. I'm not going to tell anybody.
Yeah, well, you surprised me so much. I didn't even know who the hell I was talking to. I was shocked. You had to tell me who you were like 5 times. I'm like, okay, am I supposed to know who this is? Like, Reed.
I
I'm
thought
like,
I had the wrong
oh.
number. I was like, did I call the
Yeah,
wrong
you know,
person?
she's like, is this Lou? I'm like, yeah, this is Lou. Hey, man, I'm proud of you, man. Thank you for calling in.
We go. It's so weird because we go way back, but you've actually never heard my voice before.
At all. I did not know, literally. Like, normally, when people call in, I see the name on the call ID. I know exactly who it is before I pick up. Your name showed up, and I didn't know who it was. So I knew it was a new caller. So I had no idea who I was talking to just now. So it was just, everything was brand new.
If this wasn't you, I wouldn't have called because I feel like I know you so well.
Hey, man, I appreciate you calling in, breaking the ice. And now, I'm not saying you're going to do this all the time, but now that you've broken the ice, you can call in whenever you feel like it.
It might be a while before I call in again. I had to talk to somebody.
It's okay. But I just know that now that I know you're capable, I'm going to be looking for it.
Okay.
All right, man. Great talking to you, Ree.
Right,
hey, keep your head up, too, man. There will be better days. Trust me. Keep your head up.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Look at that, man. Got BA to pick up the phone, or my man Ree to pick up the phone and call. Look at that. We changing the game over here. One caller at a time. Look at that. My man Ree. That makes me feel good. All right. Let's see. We've been at it for over an hour. I don't know. Is the stream even still going? Oh, there it is. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, we've been at it over an hour. So, tell you what I'm going to do. We'll read a couple comments, and then we're going to go. Henrique Lopez says, what was the biggest surprise of the day? Biggest surprise of the day would probably have to be the Titans beating up on the Browns. I don't think anybody saw that kind of ass whooping, that level of triflingness, because it takes a certain type of team to go into another man's house and utterly disrespect him in that manner. All right. That one got out of control very, very quickly. And to not only disrespect them in their house, but afterwards, as you're leaving, still throw a little salt in the wound, talking shit on the way out. That was probably the biggest surprise of the day for me. Because we knew Miami was bad. We knew Baltimore could probably blow them out. We knew the Giants were bad. We knew Dallas could have their way with them. But to see what Tennessee was able to do on the road against a team that everyone was crowning, that was impressive. Didn't see that one coming. So, let's see. Skimming through the comments. Try to pick out a couple more. Let's see. Skimming. Derek B says, I guess Big Ben can't do it all by himself without Bell and Brown. Juju isn't all world when the defense keys in on him without AB on the field. We're going to find out a lot about now. Every defense isn't the New England Patriots defense. You know, they're different. Even though they're not always the most talented defense, they're usually the best and most well-coached defense. And Belichick has made a living throughout his career in taking away your best player from you. If you're going to beat Bill, this is the thing I love about Bill B. More than anything else. Say what you want about the Patriots defensively, this, that, and the third. Or I could care less about a lot of the shit that goes on in New England. I don't like the Patriot way, all that good stuff. The thing that I've always admired about Bill Belichick, and this is the thing I can't understand for the life of me with other teams, the other 31 teams in the league, is if you're going to beat me, like, for instance, my Redskins today, made me sick to my stomach that Deshaun Jackson was able to tear us a new asshole. Because if there was one guy that wasn't going to beat me today, if I'm a Redskins coach, player, whomever, it was going to be Deshaun Jackson. He wasn't going to be the one that beat me today. He wasn't going to be the reason we were going to lose the game. One, if you're a Redskins coaching staff member and you've been here long enough, then you know what he's capable of. All right, even if you've never coached him, which Jay Gruden did, and he knows exactly what he's capable of. All right, then you could just be from afar watching him elsewhere. You know what this dude can do. The numbers speak for themselves. So if it's 3rd and 15, if it's 3rd and 10, the one guy that's not getting singled up, it's Deshaun Jackson. Let Alshon Jeffrey never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. Let him get you. Let Zach Ertz get you till it hurts. All right? Let Dallas Goedert get you. Let Nelson Aguilar beat you. Don't let it be D-Jax, because you know when he does it, it's going to happen at the drop of a hat. It's literally going to happen as fast as the damn hiccup. And that's exactly what it was. It went from 17-0 to 17-7. It went from 21 to 14 to 21-20. All right? It went from 21-20 to 29-20. Just that damn quick. And a lot of it was behind Deshaun Jackson's thinking ass. So, you got to know your personnel. And the Patriots know it better than anybody else. They will not let the other team's best player beat them. Not happening. Now, if one of your other ancillary parts wants to jump up and bite us, go right ahead. Be my guest. But it won't be your best. So, I always admire that about the Steelers. And they took away Juju tonight and made other guys have to beat them, and they weren't up to the challenge. And so I don't think that's going to happen every week. I think Juju's going to make a lot of plays, and he's going to look like a number one. He just didn't look like it tonight because the Patriots are that damn good. Anyway, let's get to some more comments before we skedaddle. Skimming. LaXavier Lester says, who do you have winning the AFC South now? I did have Jacksonville until Nicholas Foles got hurt. So it's a war of attrition in that division. I shouldn't count out the Colts. They went on the road, almost beat the Chargers today. Jacoby Brissett and that defense playing good ball. They got a shot. I might just stick with the Colts, but I mean, I know what you're trying to get me to say. You're trying to get me to say Tennessee after today, but this is what the Titans do. Like, I gotta respond to a dude that hit me up earlier, and we had a discussion in the preseason about that division, and I said, look, I'm wrong about one of these two teams, not both of them, but I'm wrong about one of them. I was speaking of the Texans and the Titans because I had both of them finishing like 5-11, 6-10, somewhere in there, and I said one of these teams is going to actually be good this year, and I don't know which one it is, but I'm wrong about one of them. I'm not wrong about both of them. One of these teams is gonna stink, and he said it ain't gonna be the Titans. The Titans are good for at least 9 wins. I actually believe in Mike Vrabel. That's the crazy part, is I think he's actually a really good head coach, and I think he actually is gonna have this defense playing ball every single week. My problem is I don't believe in the offense. I don't believe in their ability to be consistent offensively week in, week out. But the Titan fan said, I'll be back later on this year when we're winning to tell you were wrong. And I'm like, you know where to find me. I'll be here. And so he hit me up today. Was like, hey, man, what's good? I told you about my Titans. And I'm like, bruh, I haven't responded to him yet, but I'm going to respond to him, and I'm going to tell him, you ain't done nothing that I haven't already said the Titans are capable of doing. I said the Titans are maddening. They're frustrating because they will rise to the level of competition. We've seen them stomp a mud hole in New England. We've seen them go on primetime on the road to Big D and beat the brakes off of the Cowboys. We've seen them do this before. All right? Go on the road when everyone's counting them out, and they rise to the level of competition and rise to the occasion and win a game we didn't think they were capable of. In 2 weeks, I could see them going to the Jets. And I don't know when they play the Jets, if they play the Jets, but I could see them going to New York and losing to the Jets 16-12. That's the type of shit the Titans do, though. They'll win a game like this where they blow the doors off of a good team and surprise the hell out of us, and then they'll drop the ball against a lesser opponent 3 weeks later. That's the Titans, and that's why I can't rock with them. So while this was impressive, it doesn't show me that you've changed. You want to show me you've changed? String together a bunch of consistent performances and beat the teams you're supposed to beat and some of the ones you aren't. and then I'll be convinced that you're legit. But until then, till you show me that, you're still the team that can go on the road and stomp a mud hole in the Cleveland Browns, but then can also come home and lose to Cincinnati. You can do that. You're capable of doing that. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to get the hell out of here, man. I am done. It's been a good night. You know, Patriots destroy the Steelers. I don't have the right device next to me to see. You know what? Let's see what the final score ended up. Just so I can have it. And mention it on the way out. But the Steelers dominate, or excuse me, the Patriots dominate. And that score ended up 33-3. So, Patriots dominate the Steelers on ring night, get the win, go to 1-0 on the season. And the NFL was crazy in week 1. We're not done yet. Still 2 more contests left to be decided. Got the Saints hosting the Texans on the first game of the Monday night doubleheader. And then the Broncos and the Raiders, which lost a lot of its luster with no AB. But that will be a huge topic of conversation throughout the night. That's the nightcapper, and we'll see what happens there. If you're the Broncos, this is the first of many opportunities to prove that you belong in the AFC West. You're going to win that division, or you're going to be really competitive or try to make a run at a postseason berth. You're going to have to beat teams like the Raiders, and that includes on the road. So I am your man, Louie T. And remember, if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage it could be. Until next time, lockdown coverage tomorrow at some point. Be on the lookout for that, as well as Redskins Nightly News, and a whole slew of things coming at you next week. So stay tuned to the Louie T Network as we've got wall-to-wall coverage of the National Football League. I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. Until next time, have a good one. And make sure you check out the podcast. Newest episode up and available, episode 57 of the Louie T Network podcast. And also, if you haven't already done so, check out my promo video for the LG dual screen. I'm actually using it right now as we speak. So check that out as well. You guys have a good one. Take care. See you next time.
Louie T Network.